Boa, founder of Warby Parker, and Reese Powell, founder and president of Red Rabbit. Thank you very much for doing this for us. I'd also like to thank our global equity investors, Ernst & Young, MasterCard, Worldwide, and Microsoft. And also, too, for the very special folks at SAP, MasterCard Worldwide, and New York Stock Exchange, who are our sponsors for the New York Metro for the New York Metro finals here. And also for tonight, for Deloitte for hosting us.
Thank you, Laura. Next up we have longtime board member and fourth and final contestant of the evening, Muhan Juma, with his business Teacher Time.
So, let me draw a picture for you of what does it mean to be a high school student. As soon as I walk into class, sit down for a minute, the teacher is taking attendance of the students who are in the class. Then suddenly a student comes up, Miss, can I go to the bathroom, can I go to the nurse, or comes in late. All this takes up some time so the teacher can write passes. Well, all this adds up to around 15 minutes per, 15 minutes one class. So if we have 5 periods a day, this adds up to around 75 minutes of just wasting time just to start up a class. So if we look at the slide, in 1 year there are around 14,000 minutes are being wasted for one student just to start a class. Those 14,000 minutes are being wasted. Those 14,000 minutes are being spent on learning. So what we're going to do to solve the problem? Well, we need to save class time, we need to eliminate the time waste, and we need to promote learning. But who's going to solve the problem? How are we going to do? Well, here where it comes apart, I'd like to introduce myself to you. My name is Mohan, and I have developed Teaching Time. Let me show you a little clip so you take an idea of how we're going to install it. Okay, so once again, Teaching Time is a facial recognition software. Teaching Time is an automated software to manage classrooms. Teaching Time means more time spent learning. So let me show you now the clip, because you know all facial recognition and automated software sounds a little bit crazy. So first of all, you need a camera and a computer. Connect the camera to your computer. Then install the camera on the door so it can recognize who has come to class and who has not come to class. Then go to your computer, log in, start the cameras as shown in the video. Now let your students come into the classroom. And Teaching Time will use facial recognition to recognize who has come to class and who has not come to class. Then it will log those results so the teacher can access them at any time. On top of all that, Teaching Time will email and call parents for those students who has come to class late or has not attended to class, so the parents have they know what's going on. So the teacher doesn't have to ever do that again, which means we'll get back in 15 minutes. But cool, now we have, I don't know what's wrong with this. Okay, cool, we have solved the educational problem. What you're really asking me for is how are we going to make money on this? Well, schools will be buying this software for $2,000. It's an online 1-year subscription. They will get an unlimited license for the school, so in any classroom they could use it. It doesn't have to be in one classroom. They'll also get an unlimited online use of tutorials, which will cover all small and big points and all the tutorials. So they didn't have to call me or, hey, I don't know how to do this. And I'm selling it for, as I mentioned before, $2,000. I have no cost of materials because I'm creating this software. Cost of labor, I have 10 hours for one package, which is around $150. And I don't have any other variable cost, which will leave me off with cost of service sold around $150, which will give me a contribution margin of $18.50. After all my fixed expenses, and this will give me around 0.5, which means I have to sell 1 unit to break even. Okay, so let me tell you about my marketing analysis. Who am I targeting? Well, I would like to target the K-12 public schools because they have less resources, less space, and less guidance, which will make it tougher to manage the classroom. I'm also targeting frustrated teachers. I'm targeting hungry children. I know they might be hungry for food, but I mean hungry for education. I'm also targeting confused school board because they don't know what to do to give back the 15 minutes to those students. We would like to start small in a city called New York City that you all may know. And then we'd like to grow organically so we can fix all the bugs and upgrade our program, etc. And then we'll eventually be everywhere. We are targeting schools that have large classrooms and would like to keep attendance of those large classrooms. There are around 5,000 schools in New York City, narrowing it down to around 1,700 schools because they are public schools. Then based on survey, I have surveyed the school principals, asking them whether they want to buy it or the $2,000 or not. And around 81% said yes, they would like to use it, which gave me a market size of 1,373 schools, public schools. So how are we going to sell this? Well, I already have established a website. I will do a live free demonstration in schools. I will also have strategies to retain current clients such as incentives and discounts. I already actually have a live chat support on my website, so they could contact me with their 10 hours package. I'll have creative strategic alliance with educational companies. Now every business has competitors. For my business, there's a Saya, which is a Japanese substitute teacher. It was written really professional codes by a professor. But it doesn't have any. It's really heavy to carry around. It doesn't have any facial recognition or recognize recognize faces or calls houses, etc. While mine is a downloadable software, you could just download it and recognize faces and hold passes, and also make phone calls. There's also indirect competitors such as Skype and Uber because they're good at live streaming, but they are not specific for. They're not specific for educational use, but they are for social use, and also they don't have any facial recognition. While mine has all that stuff. Now, why would you trust me, or why would I have this already done? I show you a video that already have it, and I've also been a programmer for around 5 years, and I was an intern at Cornell University as a programmer. Also a teacher on YouTube with around more than 400,000 views and around 3,000 subscribers. I'm also an excellent student. I'm a student government president of my school. I am going to college for free, and I received almost an honor roll every year. Now, at $2,000 per 1 unit, my gross revenue will be around $50,000 or net profit of $29,000 after selling only 57 units. 32 promotional and 25 would be sold. And if you look at the graph, you see July and August has zero selling price. Well, that's because there is no school in July and August. And also, I will use those 2 months to promote my business by asking the principals to make presentations. To start this investment, I will need a voice over IP plugin, which I will use in my code environment, which is Visual Studio. I will also need Visual Studio environment around my code. This gives me a startup expenditures of $17,000, and after emergency fund and reverse expenses, I will get a startup investment of almost $28,000. And this leads me up to my return on investment, 63%. Now, I came to the United States 3 years ago. I learned English and I taught myself how to program. Imagine what I can do with the 14,000 minutes that are being wasted. Imagine what others can do with the 14 minutes that are being wasted. With teaching time, all this is possible. And always remember, with teaching time, more time spent learning. Thank you so much for your time.
Well done, Nuha. Judges, you have 3.5 minutes for questions.
Fantastic presentation. I thought it was great. A question, the hardware that the schools need, are you going to also sell that hardware, or are you going to give it to them in a sort of razors and blades model? How are the schools going to have the hardware?
Good question. Well, the hardware will be only the camera. The computer, they already have it. So for the cameras, I would recommend some cameras on my website, such as, there are different HD cameras that we'll be able to use. But I'm not offering them any cameras, so I'm not selling any cameras. I'm not going to do that business because mine is only the software. So I will just recommend some cameras.
And how are you going to handle the cameras being safe or not stolen when they're in the schools?
being safe and stolen? Well, as you already know, there are so many cameras in the school already, and no one is stealing them because the other cameras that are watching them, all the students.
Are there any privacy concerns, or do you need permission from students to be able to record the images of their faces?
Many people ask me this great question, privacy concerns. Well, that's why I'm installing them outside the classroom, not inside the classroom. Or as I showed in the video, the clip, they will be installed on top of the door, and not inside. They will not be showing what's inside. They'll show only who's coming, who's going out.
So there are different privacy policies, whether people are being recorded inside the classroom or outside?
It's not really recording. It's not taping it. It's going to log the results as I showed you. It says Mohan has attended to class, so it's not even going to tape it. So the teacher can't watch the video again.
Why facial recognition instead of a fingerprint or a retina scan or something else? I mean, that seems dealing with privacy, and people look different each year or whatever instead of just a fingerprint.
Fingerprints will have a line. Let's say for students entering the classroom at 9 o'clock in the morning, they all have to pass, put their finger and continue, right? While the video will just capture the face and go out, and go inside the class, sorry.
What if there's 8 people walking in at the same time?
At the
Like a
same
group
time?
of people?
It will capture all those faces at one time and recognize who is those people and write their name.
Can you talk a little bit about when you're going to approach a new school, who at the school you would target to talk to sell us in?
I would talk to the principal because they are the ones that are controlling the school budget, and they are the ones who are really going to buy it and install it in the classrooms.
I know you've thought out this application very well. Are there any other applications that you see for this where you may be able to expand the business beyond just teaching time?
Exactly, I would be able, I would use it also in company's entrance, where it could be for security use. That would be one idea also. Thank you.
Well done.
Well, hold on, I gotta check again. I don't want to make a mistake. Muhan Juma.
It's okay.